Pamela Rose Aldridge McCall was born in 1958 in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Pamela was described by her mother as being a free spirit who liked to move around a lot. Pamela often hitchhiked around Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee. In March 1991, in Spring Hill, Tennessee, just off Saturn Parkway, Pamela's body was discovered by a passerby. She was just 33 years old and 24 weeks pregnant. Pamela had been assaulted and strangled before being discarded like trash, her unborn baby the second victim in this callous crime. Just over 1 year later, in March 1992, the nude body of a woman was discovered just off a deserted area of road in Sweetwater County, Wyoming. She had been essayed and killed with a sharp object thought to be an ice pick. Her nude body left discarded and frozen, investigators were unable to identify her and gave her the name Bitter Creek Betty. Just 6 weeks later, near the I-90 in Sheridan County, Wyoming, the partially clothed and partially mummified body of a woman was found. She was also pregnant and had also been essayed and bludgeoned to death. Unable to identify her, investigators named her the Sheridan County Jane Doe. Police had no suspects and no names for the victims. DNA collected at the scenes provided no matches. Sadly, they became 2 more tragic entries to a long list of unsolved murders along America's highways. Rewind to February 1991. A young hitchhiker in Wheeler County, Texas, accepted a ride from a man in a big rig truck. Little did she know she was about to step into a nightmare. After pulling a gun on her, she was tied up and then essayed in the sleeper cab. He then tried to strangle her. The brave woman fought back and managed to escape when her attacker loosened her restraints and offered to let her go. According to the victim's account, her attacker handed her his gun and told her, "If I were you, I would shoot me." She was able to recount her horrific story to the police and later identified her attacker as Clark Perry Baldwin. Unfortunately, a grand jury failed to indict Baldwin and he walked free to continue stalking the highways. For decades, the murders of Pamela McCall and the other 2 unknown women went unsolved. Over the years, DNA technology advanced, and in 2019, investigators took another look at the evidence in Pamela McCall's murder. There was no match in the CODIS DNA database, but using genetic genealogy, investigators traced the DNA through public ancestry databases, building a family tree from fragments of inherited code. The tree led them to one man, Clark Perry Baldwin. In order to confirm this, they followed him around where he was living in Iowa, where he had quietly built a life, those around him unsuspecting of his past. They retrieved his DNA from items he discarded in the trash, and it was a match. They also matched this DNA to Bitter Creek Betty and Sheridan County Jane Doe. Baldwin was born in Iowa in August 1961. After graduating, he got a job as a truck driver. During this time, he travelled across multiple states and spent most of his free time in the company of sex workers and pimps. In the mid-1980s, he married but continued to have sexual relationships with other women. It is thought that he fathered at least 1 child during this time. In 2022, Bitter Creek Betty was identified as Irene Vasquez. Not much is known about Irene, except that she had been reported missing in 1990. In May 2025, Baldwin was convicted of murdering Pamela McCall and sentenced to life imprisonment. In July 2025, Sheridan County Jane Doe was identified as 21-year-old Cindy Arlene Estrada, who was originally from California. Around this time, Baldwin suffered a heart attack. He would not serve any further time in jail, dying 2 days later, the day after Cindy was identified. The website Iowa Cold Cases gave investigators a list of more than 24 murders since 1980 that were similar to Baldwin's pattern of killing. One of those involved the case of Rhonda Knutson, a 22-year-old truck stop convenience clerk who was bludgeoned to death during a night shift in 1992. Baldwin lived nearby in Nashua, Iowa at the time. The murder of Rhonda still remains unsolved. One of the saddest things about this case is that we will never know the true extent of Clark Perry Baldwin's crimes. He was a long-haul trucker across 48 US states for decades. Given the violence used in these attacks and also the transient nature of those who use hitchhiking as a means of travel, will we ever really know how many women had fateful encounters with Clark Perry Baldwin?